If you want to see a tutorial on how to get this look, I tried to recreate one of Nikki Makeup's makeup looks that she posted. Nikki Makeup's looks. You know what I mean. She posted a picture on Instagram and I loved it, so I wanted to recreate it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So my camera's battery was actually dead just as I was about to film, of course. So I took that opportunity to start on one eye. This is what we have so far. So the hard part is going to be replicating it on the other eye. To create this look, I'm using my ColourPop In a Dazed Pressed Powder Palette, and I started off with shade Nude Daze. And basically, I'm just using this sort of map out the whole look. The shadow goes really high up and really far out, also really far in, almost like pretty much on her nose, the model's nose. And I'm not afraid to like take it all the way up to my brow and really far out towards my temple as well. This is a very dramatic look, so we're going to utilize as much lid space as we have. In the photo, it looks like it's slightly deeper towards her inner corner and on her outer corner, almost like a halo eye. It's brighter right here in the transition area. So I'm going to take this shade called Got Gems and just apply that to like the outer corner of my transition and in the inner corner. I did go into Total Knockout, which is like a lilac-y color. Has a little bit less blue, a little bit more pink, and I just kind of popped that over everything just to warm it up a little bit. It was looking a little bit too blue and not enough purple. Then for the structure, I actually don't have a shade as deep as the one in the photo, but the deepest shade in this palette is called So Cliche. So that's what I used for like the graphic liner portion. This look is very focused on like elongating and lifting the eye. So the liner doesn't go all the way across. It really just stays on this outer third of her eye. She wings it up, but then also connects it back to the crease to make the illusion of the lid going this way. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. I'm taking a pencil brush because I want the line to be a little bit thicker in the photo. It's not super thin like a liquid liner would be. It's a little bit thicker. So that's why I'm taking a pencil brush, and I just am going to start creating that wing. I'm doing like stamping motions because I want the pigment to really be concentrated rather than like blended out. And I'm dragging it up towards the brow, and again I'm bringing it out pretty far. Alright, and then to sharpen up the end, I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm taking this little like angled, really precise brush with that same color and crisp up the edges a little bit and get the point. I'm not too worried about making it super sharp because I am going to take a makeup wipe after this to really sharpen up these wings, but I do want to try to get a little bit more precise. Once I have the depth with that deep graphic liner, I'm going to take the Got Gems, the slightly deeper periwinkle shade, and just lightly, ever so slightly, dust around just the top because it looks like the lower part is very carved out because we're going to cut the crease. But I don't want to blend too much because I want that definition to be there, that sharp line. And then just take a really fluffy brush. I'm not adding anything, going back over the very outer rim here. It looks like her lid is very bright and very crisp. So I just wanted to clean up my edges even more. I don't know if Nikki did this and actually like legit cut the crease with concealer, but I just want my lines to be a little bit more crisp, so I'm going to do that. And because I have hooded eyes, I have to like tilt my head back. Adding this concealer too is really going to help the lid pop because it looks like the lid in the photo is really bright. To set the lid, I'm going to take this really light lilac color again. I want to add a little bit of shimmer, and I want the shimmer to have a base because it's more of a topper. And this is the brightest matte in the palette. If you wanted, you could go in with like a white here because it looks like her lid is almost like white. It's very, very bright. And actually, when I looked at the photo again, I think it might actually be a matte shade. I went in with a shimmer, so It's a little different, but it's not too shimmery, so I think we're fine. Like, the shimmer I went in with is pretty subtle. On this side, I placed this matte Total Knockout, and then I went in with this Daydreamin', this like light blue iridescent sparkle, but it's more of a topper, and it's not super impactful. And I feel like it kind of darkened up the lid a little bit, which I thought it would have the opposite effect. I thought it would brighten it up because it's such a white blue shade, but it did darken things up a bit, unfortunately. Yeah, I guess to make things even, we'll go in with the shimmer, and then we'll try to brighten it up with like a highlight or something. I'm going to pick the shimmer up with a flat brush, just so that I can have more precision around the edges. Normally a finger would work best with shades like this, but because I have these graphic lines, I don't want to like just be all haphazard with it. I am going to spray my brush just to get as much impact as I can. And I'm just going to place it all over the lid where we placed the Total Knockout Lilac shade. And then I'm going to go back in with this deep purple called So Cliche on my little claw brush. And I'm just going to redefine this little liner here. Okay, so we're not perfect, but I'm not Nikki. I tried my best and I think it looks pretty cool. It's definitely not exactly like the photo, but I think once we get the face done, we add some lashes, and we're still gonna go in with the inner corner highlight. I think it will come together, hopefully. Let's just continue on. I am gonna take a makeup wipe and just clean up around the edges a bit. This is really gonna help to sharpen things up too. Okay, it's been a while since I've done my skincare, so I am going to rehydrate my skin. I'm going to take my Ulta Beauty Moisturizing Primer Spray and just rehydrate my skin. I am going to cover up my eyes though, just to not get any like splotches. And then I'm going to go in with one of my favorite facial moisturizers. This is the Rovectin Cream Lotus Water Cream. It's really great if you have super sensitive skin. It's hypoallergenic and it's just really nourishing on the skin, but it doesn't like cause irritation, doesn't make you break out, doesn't clog your pores. If you have very sensitive skin, I highly recommend this cream, and also just Rovectin in general. They make really great products. I love everything I've tried from them. Then let's see. This model actually looks like her skin is a little bit more on the matte side. Definitely flawless. So for that, I'm gonna take my NYX Blur Tint. I know I've been using this a lot lately, but I just love it so much and it's so good. It is a little bit more on the like matte side. So if you have extremely dry skin, definitely prep your skin adequately. It feels super lightweight on the skin, but it gives amazing coverage. It's a little bit light for me, but that's okay. We're gonna go in with bronzer and warm up the complexion. But I mean, you can see that gives such great coverage and it feels like nothing on the skin. And I do find that it really does help to blur pores, texture, anything like that. Again, just make sure if you have dry skin, you moisturize really well. Then I'm just gonna take my little AOA Paw sponge and press that into the skin and just soak up any excess product. The tip of the model's nose is very highlighted, so I'm gonna highlight it with concealer and then we'll go in later with actual highlighter. I look crazy right now, crazy right now. I feel like dragging your concealer up here really does help to lift the face even more. Sorry, my salt machine things in the basement are like cleaning themselves. They just kicked on and I can't turn them off, so I'm sorry. I know you can probably hear that. I'll try to talk over it. So I blended out all the concealer and now we're going to contour. This look is pretty heavily contoured, I would say. Her cheekbones are super defined. It's not a super ashy color. It's more of a neutral color, but it's definitely not like a warm, bronzy summer look. It's very sculpted. So I'm going to take a more neutral bronzer. This is the Cosmetics So Soft Bronzer Stick. Sorry, mine's super messy, but it's like the perfect neutral contour slash bronzer for more fair complexions. And this formula just like melts into your skin. It's so good, so easy to work with, so easy to blend. It is very pigmented though, so beware. All right, I'm gonna take some on this little like thinner brush because I wanna do a little bit more of like a defined cheekbone rather than like an all over bronze. I'm gonna tap off the excess, which is a lot. As you can see, it's so pigmented. And I'm gonna start carving out the cheekbones. I might wanna drag it down just ever so slightly, just to really emphasize the cheeks, like the sunkenness of the cheeks, I guess. And then start tapping it out to blend. I am gonna add quite a bit on my forehead just because my foundation is so light. But you can see I haven't even dipped back into that bronzer stick and I still have so much product on the brush. And the color is so perfect.
A few minutes later.
Hello friends, so my camera actually died. The battery is just not working for me tonight. So I finished up blending out my contour while you were away. I added a little bit to the sides of my nose just for a light nose contour. I did add some right here because this area right here is super defined in the makeup look, so I wanted to add extra structure there. I added some to my jawline, and then I just went ahead and added the teensiest bit of my Persona pencil liner, the black one, just to like the outer third of my lashes right here, just to add the smallest bit of depth, because I feel like in the photo it does look like she added either a really dark purple or a black to the lash line, especially on the outer third. So I wanted to have a little bit more definition there, and then I tight lined, and then I popped on some mascara and some falsies. I have been loving these Winx Ardel lashes in the style Bossy. I bought like 3 pairs because they're so lightweight and so flirty and cute, but they go with like everyday looks or more glam looks, and I've just been really loving them. They really suit my eye shape. I don't feel like they overpower my eye, but they're also like enough to make it worthwhile. So I think the next step is going to be to set, because my under eyes are creasing like a mofo. I'm gonna take my Pat McGrath Labs Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This stuff is great if you have very dry skin. It feels like nothing, and it really does blur out your pores. I actually don't feel like I need to set the rest of my face, so I might just leave it as is, but I am gonna go in with a powder blush. This is from Milani. In the photo, it looks like her cheeks are a little bit more peachy, which makes sense because, I mean, purple can be worn with pinks, but it can also be worn with peaches because orange and purple are complementary colors. So this is my favorite peachy blush. I'm just gonna pop a little bit of this on my cheeks. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of that powder just to blend out the edges. Actually, I think I am going to set my cheeks. I'm going to take my Sigma Soft Focus Setting Powder in Vanilla Bean. This powder really helps to soften things up. And I'm going to set the forehead as well. All right, I think I'm going to add a little bit more bronzer. She has more of a deep, neutral, almost cool tone lip liner, so I'm going to take Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. Her lip color looks a little bit more peachy almost, so I'm either going to go in with peachy in this Maybelline Vinyl Ink or this shade Captivated. This is a little bit more neutral, but I think it'll still work. That's nice. This is a little bit more cool tone than her lip, but I think since my purples are slightly different, this suits the look better. And her lip is like a cream finish, so I think this will work perfectly because these are super long wearing, but they have more of like a, not super glossy, but a little bit of a shiny finish, so I think these will work perfectly. I do want to add some highlight because her inner corners are super highlighted. Her forehead has a little bit of highlight, and definitely her nose. So, and even her cupid's bow a little bit. So I am going to go in with highlight. I'm actually going to dip into this Natasha Denona Glam face palette. You can use whatever highlight you like the best. This is just the most glam, like in-your-face highlighter I have in my collection. It's so reflective and beautiful. Again, you don't have to use this highlighter. You don't have to get the palette just for this highlighter. You can use whatever highlighter you like, but I like this one. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on a fluffy brush. We're gonna definitely highlight the nose because she has a very strong nose highlight. See if I can do the Cupid's bow a little bit. Probably should have done that before lips, but it's fine. Then we'll do a little bit on the cheeks. Or a lot of it. Ooh, so pretty. I'm gonna pop a little bit up here in the arch of the brow as well. Alright guys, so here's the final look. I definitely did not execute it as well as Nikki Makeup, but she's a professional and I am an amateur. But I had so much fun just being creative, playing with makeup, and recreating this look. Let me know if there's other looks you guys want me to recreate. I would love to check them out. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.